It is a lovely morning here at North Gillis Wharf. Saturday morning, about 7 o'clock. Arrived last night. Today, into tomorrow, I'm thinking I'm going to try to do some underfloor insulation. Now, I should have done this probably before I started putting the walls up, but I was also going to put some aluminium sided insulation board underneath the floor. But after talking to some of the other boaters, I've decided that I'm going to leave an air gap on top of the bricks. And this stuff, it should be fine. It's a thermal barrier, it's a moisture barrier, airtight double. It's actually the first thing I bought when I bought the boat in my excitement. This has been sat in my house for 2 years now. Probably should have brought it in before this, but like I said, I was going to get some insulation. I was looking at buying that online, and I talked to some people and they said, yeah, no, leave an air gap on top of the bricks. You know, damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess. So, but yeah, we're going to try and get that in today. I'm just trying to figure out which part of the boat I'm going to put it in, whether I'm going to rip all of that end out and start coming down, like I've finished like the ceiling on that end of the boat, or if I'm going to start this end and rip all of this lot out and come down and do the easy bit last. I don't know, we'll see how we get on. It's a little bit early to start with the tools yet, so I'm still just sitting and thinking about it. But yeah, should be a fun day. Yeah, some hoofing about, lots of moving everything, picking the floor up, trying to put the floor down without ripping all this out, taping it all down, aluminium tape. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a nightmare, but it's going to be a fun day. So it's about 10:30 Saturday morning. I've just cleared all of this to lift these 3 sections of floor up, to lay some insulation in this section at least. I've got a pretty good idea about how I'm going to do it. I'm not sure what's going to happen at the seam, if I'm just going to cut it off and overhang it for a second while I pull up the next board. But yeah, I love this when it looks empty like this. Also, I've just put a it's kind of like a strengthening strip along this edge just to pull it all into line. It's not 100% yet, but we can try and screw them in. That's obviously going to get changed out when I put this wall up. I just wanted to put a little bit of a brace there to give it a kind of a sweep up. So yeah, that's looking better. But yeah, I love this empty. I wish the whole bit, I mean, it could be just got all this stuff over there. It's not that much stuff. I do keep thinning out, taking bits home. It's like if I took the furniture I've built apart, stashed that back in the engine bay, I'd have almost nothing on the boat. So yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, it's getting warm already. But let's get on with with lifting this floor up. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be a hot one. So about 11 o'clock. I've just taken the 3 end boards up, vacuumed, cleaned everything. Cleaned out all the bays from where I was shaving off the spray foams. The first time I've had this up. It looks fantastic. I love the look of this. But yeah, so now I'm going to mark the centre of the board, roll out some of the insulation, cut it to length to go down the far end, and set it across the middle, and cut out another piece and set it to the side and try and replace the boards all the way up to the edge. Shouldn't be too tricky. I'd say that it's probably going to be more difficult than I'm expecting, but yeah, making progress, doing okay. So yeah, let's get on with the rest of this. Okay, so that took about 2 hours to get down. That's all foil taped. I've sealed in what little masking tape is left. I've tucked the edges in under the walls. The only thing left now is to put the boards back on and actually stick them down. Stop them squeaking, stop them rubbing. So yeah, this is awesome. If the time comes that we have to adjust any of the ballast, I'll just cut through this and patch it with whatever's left. I've still got half a roll left to do the other end of the boat, and I've got another full roll at home. Like I said before, it's the as soon as I bought the boat, I bought that. Kind of getting excited and getting ahead of myself. I should have put it down a while back, probably before I put the lower walls in, but it's done now. This bit's done. and then I'll seam it up in the middle there and do the back end of the boat either later today when we get the boards down, or next time, maybe tomorrow. It is getting really hot. It's still only 12:30, so a lot of time left in the day. But we're gonna have a little break now, get some lunch, and then we'll start getting the boards down. But this looks cool. Yeah, wicked. 2 o'clock now. I'm gonna have to cut these boards a little bit because I've pulled everything down to sit on top of the runners properly. As you may have heard in the previous videos, this one kept falling off when I walked over it, and I'll do something about that as well. Where's that? That's there. Okay. But yeah, so everything's now stuck down over here. Much better. I've cut a little bit out so I can get to the water tank. Yeah, doing okay. Going to continue on. Got to move everything all down here, down to the other end of the boat. But yeah, halfway through. A lot to do. But yeah, it's really hot. But let's move all of this mess. It's about 4:30. Completely stripped to the back of the boat. Haven't seen it this clean out. Probably a year, easily. That's awesome. Right, it's time to get these boards up. Still really warm, but yeah, let's get these boards up and continue on. And we'll get the entire boat floor insulated tonight. Cool. On to it. So that's all those boards pulled up. There's my ballast and the hole for where the fireplace is going. So I've removed the bricks equivalent to the weight of the fire. So that's where the fire's going. Everything else is alright. I'm going to give this a clean. There's no water anywhere, so there's nothing been pooling up, no condensation or anything like that. I've not seen any water at all. Doing the entire boat here today. So yeah. Looks pretty mad. I've not had this last board out since I had a boat spray foamed. So yeah, so I'll get all this cleaned up and I'll continue on with the foil the entire end of the boat. Should be interesting because this end there isn't anywhere to rest the board apart from the inside on that last batten. They're not fully spray foamed in, so they kind of slide in like the, I don't know, like the doors on Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. So we'll see what happens when it comes to foiling that bit, and also that nice big gap. This is empty, by the way, for any pouring water and condensation. A bilge pump will go in this corner and be pumped out in this corner, just in case anything happens, water tank leaks, anything like that, got water leak. This bay is completely empty to collect water at the back, and there'll be a bilge pump in the corner to pump out anything, should anything arise. But so far so good, not a sign of moisture anywhere inside the base of the boat. I've been all the way from the bow to the stern today. Nothing, not a drop, nothing. So yeah, so I've got all this cleaned up and continue the foil on. Probably got 3-4 hours ahead of me into night time, into chess. So let's get on with the rest of it for now. Crazy to have everything jammed down this end of the boat, but it's cool to have a half full boat. So yeah, God, it's a bit of a mess though, isn't it? Look at this, it's a bit tightly jammed, but I could just set the boat up here tonight and just leave it, depending on how much energy I've got. But yeah, making a mess. So about 6:30 now. I've come to the end of the roll and I'm a little bit short. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to chop a bit of that one off just to make it up over here, so I've got that last panel to box in at some point, and that's easier for me because that's a problem at the back that I'd have to deal with today. But then that's for the most part the boat insulated. I mean, you could probably stop there and just leave that because of the bilge pump. So yeah, so I'll chop this off, make it all neat and tidy, close up all this, patch it all with some aluminium tape, and get the boards on and screwed down, and we'll call that a job done for today. Cool, it's taken all day, it's been super hot, sweating a lot, lugging boards around, lugging stuff around the boat, but we're nearly there, it's looking great. It's about 20 past 8 and that's the floor stuck down. So that's done in a day, the underfloor insulation. Still got to decide whether I'm going to do this back bay or not. There'll very rarely be people sleeping in here. This will be the 5th berth on the boat if I go ahead and do the single person dinette on this side that I quite liked. But leaving it open will I think be easier for the bilge pump, I don't know. It's kind of sealed off on the back of this floor joist. I sealed it down with aluminium tape so it kind of lips over and it's all sealed down here and it's screwed down from the top. The boards are. But yeah, that's it's been quite a day to do that work. It's been very warm, very clammy all day. But that's the boat done with the underfloor insulation. I do have another roll of that at home. I don't know what you know, I can finish this bit up and save some bits for patching when we do ballast adjustment, trim adjustment in the water. But yeah, for the most part, that's the boat done for the underfloor insulation. Wow, that's been quite a bit today. Cool, now I've got to tidy up, put everything back. Well, it's about 8:45. Still got loads of tidying up to do, but I've got Chess with Nigel coming up shortly. I need to go get her washed up. It's so hot today, but this is all fantastic. Feels loads better to walk on, sounds better to walk on. It doesn't feel as hollow. So yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, to think I've had this entire floor up today. I tell you, those time lapses, I've just gone through them, and the time lapses do not do the justice of how much effort this lot took. I've got a little bit of an extension that I did to fill that in. That's just that bit was lost where this end panel's a little bit wider than 2 foot. It's like 2'5", something like that. So sacrificed the board edge to do that back bit. But yeah, I've got a bit to put in there, and that's the floor done at this point. And then you know, we'll put some like laminate flooring or something over the top of it. But yeah, I'm gonna get tidied up, see if Nigel wants to play some chess, and I'm not sure, I might drive home tonight. Yeah, I could really do with a shower. So yeah, okay. Alright, let's get on with a bit more of this tidy. Well, it's Sunday afternoon. By the time I got everything packed away, it was about 1 AM, so I ended up spending the night. I've just been poking around here doing a couple of little bits, nothing too serious. I feel like I burnt myself out yesterday, and it is ridiculously hot. It's amazing how in a week it's gone from too cold to too hot. Considering the range of temperatures out there, the range that we're comfortable in is incredibly small. So yeah, but yeah, getting on with it. I've redone the lids for these seats. So I've recut them, revarnished them. Now I'm just sealing them with some silicone at the back, and I feel confident to leave them. I've been trying to air out the engine bay. Here is my engine. We have a Barrowshire 45. Whole engine bay is rusty and full of water, so I've just been letting that evaporate off. In the sun, we'll need to get in here at some point and do a full service. Change all the fluids, change all the rubbers, and get all this painted. But we're ticking bits off. Still an active yard here today, it's still super loud. I've pulled the fire into pretty much what I consider position. That's kind of how I'd like it, with a wall behind it, but we'll see how it goes. A couple of issues with that, because it's got a 6-inch flue to start with. It's an 8 kilowatt fire, it's probably too big. And if I'm going to double insulate the flue, then I need to put an 8-inch wide cover all the way up it to the ceiling. So I may end up selling this yet and getting a replacement, but we'll see how it goes. We're not quite there yet. Got to tuck all of this back under the wall. But yeah, good weekend. Feel like we've got a lot done, got all the floor done. Feels completely different now to walk on. It's deadened. It's yeah, it just doesn't feel as hollow going through it. So, but yeah, I'm just packing up now. I'm going to go home, spend the afternoon at home. Back to another 50-hour week at work, I think, this week. But yeah, so that's going to do it for me, I think. So thanks a lot, everybody. I hope everybody's having fun out there in life, enjoying the sun if you can. But yeah, so for me, for another week, that's going to do it. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a good time.